Bienvenidos a un episodio más de Platicando con el podcast. El día de hoy tengo que hacer una introducción también en inglés. So I want to welcome you guys to this episode of Platicando con el podcast. Hello. Today we have a very special guest. Today we have Jack Mason.
Yay. How are you?
Fantastic. It's so good to be here. Sorry for being high maintenance, y'all.
No, you're not. Come on. No, not at all. Not at all. Please don't start that show with that attitude. Just have fun. That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
I love it.
So before we start with the questions for Jack, I just want to say hi to Luisa Fernanda Quintana. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk in English. I've never done that, in here. But I think I'm better.
I can tell you're pretty good at it.
It's my first time speaking English.
No, I'm excited. Yony, how are you?
Hey, I'm really excited to have Jack with us. It's first time I was talking in English, so así es que a ver cómo nos va.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. So I guess my first question, Jack, would be like, you mentioned it before that music choose you.
Good memory.
But from all the musical genres that are out there, why did you choose country?
I guess that's one of those things that have to do a lot.
Let's get a little bit closer to the mic, please, Jack. I'm sorry.
How's that sound?
And that's
Good.
better.
Oh my God!
That's
All right,
better.
now I can hear you.
I guess it's one of those things that have a lot to do with your upbringing. So my parents were missionaries.
Yes.
And we grew up in a very Christian-based group where music was everything. It was fundraising, inspiration, devotion, you name it, witnessing. And so back in the day, country music and gospel music used to go hand in hand. And there was a lot of that growing up, really a lot of that. So there was a lot of the bluegrass fun stuff. Will the circle be unbroken by my Lord? So a lot of that was just a lot of fun. It was very contagious for me. It was something very inspiring. I saw everyone around me do it, and it just stuck with me. So I listened to a lot of genres after that. I had my rock and roll style phase.
Like on your YouTube channel, you have a little bit of everything. You even have like a reggaeton or things like that.
Yes. I try to have a good variety. It keeps me busy on a daily basis. I live off music. I've been doing music for a long time. So it keeps me busy to have a good variety. But country music is my biggest... music is my passion. I would say country music is probably my favorite genre.
So let me jump to these questions that I had it like maybe for later, but I think it's going to make sense right now. So as the son of a couple of missionaries in charge of bringing the word of God, do you think it was difficult for them to see you take the path of the mundane music?
I wouldn't doubt that at some point in the beginning, for them, it was like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure there was that phase. And my mom even gave me some readings when I was around 15.
Because you've been doing this for like 15 years now, professionally, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been doing this for more than 15 years professionally 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
Around 15 years, I guess.
Yeah. So, I remember when I was around 15, my mom gave me some heavy reads about, music. It's like my dad always used to say this. It's like the sun rays. You don't see the sun rays getting into your skin and, but they're there.
Yeah.
And he used to say the same thing about music, that music penetrates your soul. And so you got to really be mindful of what you're listening to because that will affect you. And it's been proven scientifically, obviously, that the frequencies will.
Yeah, the frequency,
right?
That's the thing. I don't know if the lyrics will make that also. Like, I understand that there is like an impact on the lyrics, sometimes based of how you're feeling or how you're receptive to that lyrics.
Well, think of a song that makes you happy.
Life is a highway.
No,
Rascal Flatts.
There's I don't know why my mind go through there, but there's a very small band called Los Picadientes de Caborca.
Okay. Does that make you feel good?
And there's a song called La Cumbia del Río.
Vámonos, sí.
La Cumbia del Río. That song always makes me feel happy.
Man, you smiling just talking about it.
Yeah, just think
Look
about
at
it.
that.
And it's those guys were like the most. I don't know if the word is rascal. The word that I'm looking for, because they don't even have like a great technique. They record their live, their recordings, the song that they were promoting, like, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe. It was like a I guess they recorded in their restroom or something like that. It sounds awful, but the rhythm and the attitude and
The
it's
vibe,
just
I get
like,
it.
Oh yeah,
Look, he gets into it, I'm telling you. Look, he remembers the song.
So
that's what it is. That's what it is. If you look at a lot of the people that are depressed, or a lot of people, there's a Hitler used to listen to Wagner before he went to war. He used to, that really heavy, intense kind of, right? And so music will affect you regardless of your beliefs. It will have a positive impact on you, or will have a bad impact in you. And so I think that was answering your question. I think that was their main concern. What impact will you have on people? Because I think at the end of the day, depending on who you are, you want to have a good impact on people. And I think that's my goal, and I think that was their concern.
Is that beliefs that great way to grow up with your parents and these teachings, these lessons, like give you some path on choose songs that you want to do a cover, or even write wrote your own songs?
That's such an interesting question. No doubt, no question. There's a song I really like. I like the groove, I like the melody, but I never added this song to my repertoire because of what the lyrics say. And it's a Jimi Hendrix song.
Ooh.
And it says, I'm a voodoo child. And it has a really nice guitar riff. And then people ask me for that song a lot because I play guitar.
Yeah, you're an amazing guitar player. I saw that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so people always, when they see me play guitar, I play Carlos Santana, I play Prince, I play Stevie Ray. I play Hendrix song, but not that one. So when people see me playing guitar, they're like, hey, play Voodoo Child. And I'm like, I'll play the riff. But I never played the full song. I never learned the full song because of what the song says. And that's just me. Zero judgment on whoever plays the song.
Yeah, of course.
It's just my beliefs.
It's part of that.
Sorry.
It's part of that. No, go ahead. That's what I was like trying to figure it out. And that's just for the cover side. But I guess going through your composer side, that will be also be like, I don't know, like the last single that you have, the Mistletoe. So, I mean, obviously, it's a very nice song. It's talking about kisses. It's a Christmas song.
How can you not like that, right?
Of course, who's not gonna like that? It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't sound very Christmassy. Like, I like the rhythm and everything. I wouldn't have said, oh, this is just for Christmas. Like, it's something that you can hear the whole
like an
year.
everyday type of thing.
Yes.
I wouldn't disagree with that, and I think the listeners should go check it out to see what they think of that too.
Yeah.
Check it out.
What is coming up? Like, what is the follow up from this single that you have right now?
We recorded the acoustic sessions.
Okay.
So we have, obviously the Christmas song came online with the season, and then we're going to release the other song. So the next song we have released is going to be what is today, the 10th. So in 2 days we have Drift Away. That's a cover song. We did, I think, 3 cover songs on this acoustic sessions, and Drift Away is one of them.
Okay.
That one's coming out in 2 days. And we did an acoustic version, if you will. I love the song. We were just talking about it, about a song that touches you and inspires you.
Yeah.
So that's a song that lifted me up through some hard times. And I really hope that people listen to it going through good. And if they're in a bad moment for some reason and it lifts them up, for me, it was worth doing the whole thing. If it lifts up one person. So that's the song coming out in 2 days.
Which is?
Drift Away.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Drift Away. Okay.
Drift Away.
Got it.
And then we have the other ones coming out. I think we're going to release a song to come out to the radios in 2-3 weeks. And then we're going to release the rest all at once.
So you have toured, I hope I'm saying this right, in 3 different countries. What continents were those? And what was the biggest challenge that you have to overcome to achieve that?
So I've toured in Europe, in South America, and the U.S. And I think the biggest challenge was adapting to some of what the people want to hear in that area.
Okay.
In that country. And so my parents were missionaries, so I lived a good amount of time in Brazil.
All right.
And I learned a little bit of the Brazilian style of music. And
Were you born there?
Here's the curious story. I was born in Brazil, but then I left months old, and I only got to get to know the city I was born in when I was a teen, much older. Many
Which
years
city
later.
is this?
It's a city down south called Curitiba.
Curitiba. Okay. All right.
And so Brazil has its own style of music. It's very unique to what they do. So you have Latin music, which is a favorite in so many Latin countries and Spain and even, the US and so many other countries. And then you have American music, British music, and Canadian music, which sell to the whole world.
Oh my God.
But Brazil has its own style of music that they don't listen to Latin music down there. It's something, if you go down there, it's curious. Bad Bunny doesn't play in Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very curious. And then if you get like Bruno Mars, Beyonce, even the country artists, they'll play 20% of everything, and all the other 80% is produced in Brazil.
It's like very local.
Yes. And so that was the challenging part for me, because I had to say, okay, I'm going to be able to do very little of what I actually do, and I'm going to have to learn a little bit of how it works here. And I did my best. It was a good learning experience, because their rhythms, there's a lot of rhythmic richness in Brazil, right? Okay. Brazil and Africa have a lot of rhythms and dancing. They're really big on that. So it wasn't
people moving. You got to get people moving.
Yes. They listen to music with their feet. Not to say with their butt,
which is fine. Like,
yes.
Of course,
and so I learned the best I could to adapt to that, but that was the challenging part.
And of course, Brazil was the main part where you have to go through this. It wasn't that hard in Europe.
No. Europe, they'll listen to American music. They'll listen to classical music. They're very eclectic out there.
Are they more receptive of what you were like provide as an entertainer?
Yes.
Or like difference to
very much
to Brazil. Brazil were like, oh, we don't like that. Okay, o sea, you have to work harder to win that audience.
Yes. So in Europe, you can go pretty much to any country in Europe and they'll speak English.
Okay.
Germany, Portugal, the French don't like it that much, but they do know how to speak English. Now in Brazil, no one speaks English or Spanish. Like, forget it. There's 5% of people that do speak English, and you'll be lucky if you bump into those.
Wow.
Yeah. It was rough in the beginning. It's a very challenging business. It's very challenging.
What brought you from all these different countries to here? What made you want to stay here?
Well, as a kid, I lived here. And so when I was like, okay, where do I want to try to pursue a career? Where do I want to feel safety? I lived in Brazil for a while, and you can tell Brazil is a fun country. There's good people there, but it's very dangerous. It's very corrupt. And so soon enough, I saw that was not the place that I was going to stay for long. And looking at the whole 360, I said, the U.S. is definitely a place where I feel I'm rooted and that I would feel the happiest and the safest.
It's been always Texas?
It's been always, since I came back, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're being like in different, what areas in the United States you've been like living?
There's Wenatchee up close to Canada,
okay.
Which is cold. When I was a kid, we lived around there. And as a kid, I think that's the only memory I'll have of living here.
There's something of your career that, of course, besides your music, your talent as a guitar player, but that's something that picked up my interest, and I have to ask you. So in 2020, you participated in ABC's Listen to Your Heart reality show. So after living that experience, could you ensure that love can be found in a reality show?
There's only so much I'm allowed to say officially.
Oh
when you sign a contract with ABC, they're pretty sure to tie things up.
Of course, they have to lock that down.
Yes.
It's been 3 years, 4 years now.
Yeah, it's lifetime. If I write a book of my life, a biography, and I release it, and it has anything to do with the time I was there, I have to get their approval on that.
Oh my God.
On those pages. What? And if they don't approve it, you're not releasing your biography.
Okay, I mean, but I guess we're on a safe spot if I ask you if you think personally, if you think that love can be found in a reality show.
It really depends on who you are and who the person you find is. Personally, for me, I'm gonna be really blunt. When I went to that show, I had zero intentions of finding anyone. I wasn't opposed to it.
Yeah, of course.
Right? You're not opposed to the experience. What's the experience? It's finding love.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fine. What was I walking into it with that belief? No way.
Okay.
But I did meet someone there.
All right.
A friend there that was really into that idea that he was going to find the love of his life in there.
Oh, wow.
And talking to him, I was like,
maybe I'm missing out.
Are you sure? He's like, yeah, all the girls I meet where I live and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything to that. That if that's your belief, cool. I mean, run with it. If you do find it, you're teaching me something.
Exactly.
He didn't find it, right? And no one that was...
He didn't teach me anything.
Yeah. And no one else there did. But, you know, see, here's the deal. Let me see how I can say this without compromising myself.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's going to know about this. The microphone is off. You can say whatever you want. Unofficially. There's a huge gap between what is shown on the final editing and what is filmed during the whole days you're there. Gotcha. Obviously, they have airtime, 2 hours per show, if you will. And you're there for weeks. So they have to chop it all up and condense it into...
And build the story for the people to follow on TV.
Every TV show is going to edit it in a way that they want to convey it. Oh, yeah. That's the way it is. I said all I could say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So I don't know. Is that, of course, your friend, he couldn't find the love of his life in the show at that point. Maybe somebody else did. But did that like give you a different perspective of love? I don't know if you're married or you're single or like, but I don't know if that give you some kind of like, oh, okay, maybe love could be found in, I don't know.
Different places.
Just weird places.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So going into it, like I told you, I had no delusion.
Expectations.
Yes, 100%. No expectations, only appreciations. And so it was a fantastic experience. But I never had that expectation that I was going to find someone. So for me, it wasn't like either a disappointment or a confirmation. It was, let's find out what this is about, right? And it was something new I was walking into. And I think, you kind of have an idea of like, oh, I'm going to go to a lot of guys, I've had that idea for a long time. I'll speak for myself. I'm going to go to the nightclub and I'm going to find someone interesting, right?
Yeah.
And you can find someone interesting anywhere. You can find someone interesting at the pharmacy. If you approach them nicely, you might even be able to ask them out. And you can find someone interesting at the nightclub, at the church. But, there might be certain people that you're more likely to find in a church than you are in a nightclub and vice versa. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what you're putting out there. I believe in energy. Like you have frequencies, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you might mirror that
chemistry.
Yes. And I think if you are a person that you bring friends around and you intentionally want to do good to people, eventually that will come back to you. So
oh, sorry. No, you didn't. I was just going to ask you, like, you weren't even like 1%, maybe not disappointed, like you said, but maybe wanting to find it there. Like you were like, okay, you were open to going and seeing what could have been, but like you saw it, but like it wasn't like 1% of you that like, down, like I could have maybe found someone there.
Prior to going in, you think, hey, maybe I don't know what this is about. I'm stepping into the unknown. I respect the unknown. Like maybe I'm gonna hit my eyes on Luisa, and I'm gonna be like, okay, this is fun, right? But then once you're in there and you see how it is, you're like, okay, now I understand.
There's a lot of filters that you have to go through to finally find that. I'm guessing, I don't know, but so like, let me take this to like a different route. So like, but kind of like the same topic. I was asking you a little bit of like if it is the possibility to find love in this kind of scenario, because one, of course, your church background, we kind of call it like that. And then I really think nowadays people put a lot of pressure on to find love in like applications, like the app, like social media. Yeah, it could be, but just the fact that swiping to the right or to the left in an app, like I don't know, like something like that. You go to a meeting with somebody that you swipe right there, thinking this might be the love of my life, and I think it's such a lot of pressure that eventually like it ended up like not really happening. Like it's so heavy, that pressure, that this like it got destroyed completely in that situation. So I think like the more
I get where you're going, and I agree 100%.
The more common thing, like in your everyday job, in the school, in church, like when you finally met somebody, like a friend of a friend, I think that's like has a little more like endorsement.
Connection.
Yes,
like a
maybe.
Genuine connection.
Yes, that just like trying to be like, oh yeah, this person that I just saw in my phone, and it kind of looks good, and they like dogs, is gonna be the love of my life. Like,
you know what's curious? Right when I walked in, you guys gave me 3 options for the backdrop, right?
Yes.
When I saw the first, I was like, "That's cool, I like it." And then all of a sudden, there was 1, 2. Now I'm confused. Which one do I like? Right? And so when you have too many things flashing around you, you might lose perspective of what could be interesting. And obviously, you don't want to be stuck with something you're not happy with. So there's a fine line between, okay, I want to be able to have the ability to choose, but then at the same time, you got to be careful where you're not sabotaging yourself, where you're flashing too many things, and then you're never happy, right? So that happens a lot. I see now with social media nowadays, people are always flashing the best photos and the best lifestyle and
filters.
Yeah. And so you got, dude, don't even talk. Sometimes people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I texted you, I messaged you today," and they're like at my show, and I'm like, I'm trying to be as nice and as I can, and I don't know who the person is, and then I go back to my phone and I see who texted me, and then I look at the photo and the person there, and I'm like
you don't look nothing like that.
And yeah, so Johnny mentioned the filters. Yeah, there's that too. And I guess it's just be true to yourself, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity out there. But if you have someone real next to you and you appreciate that person, try to give it a chance, because you might be fooling yourself and sabotaging something cool by looking at what's flashy, and it might not be that flashy.
That's true. I think that is very true.
Wise words.
So you're a musician, a singer, a producer, and a composer. But which one of these talents leaves you more satisfaction?
Guitar playing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No stuttering, no thinking, no guitar playing. If I had to do one thing for the rest of my life in the music scene, it would be playing guitar.
Guitar player, you mentioned earlier, you play Santana, you play Jimi Hendrix. Which one is your biggest, influence? Or maybe someone that you admire the most?
It's hard to pin down one. It's hard to say this guy is.
Okay, let me narrow that a little bit more.
Okay.
So blues wise.
Blues. Probably Stevie Ray.
Okay. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Do you listen to heavy metal?
I don't listen to heavy metal
that
much, but there's a guy called John Petrucci that, Steve Vai, those guys that what we call
AC/DC.
Well, AC/DC is a good example. They're hard rock. I don't know. It's hard to classify. Heavy metal is something that I don't listen to that much.
Gotcha.
When it's that too intense. But then, AC/DC is not that heavy. They got some really good songs, and there's a few guys out there that
Guns N' Roses.
I like Slash is very melodic. I listened to a lot of him while growing up as a teen, and he's influenced me to some extent for sure.
What about in country music?
Country music, I gotta say Brad Paisley is probably my biggest influence because he's a songwriter. He's first and foremost a guitar player and a phenomenal one in that sense. He's a singer. He's a super accomplished guy, fun, and so I probably identify myself the most out of all musicians and guitar players would probably be Brad Paisley.
Have you met him?
Not yet.
So if you were in front of him and you could sing one song, what will it be and why?
That's an interesting question. I'd probably just fill it out and blank out. Probably a song that I wrote that inspired me.
Okay.
Because of a song that he wrote. See, this happened once.
Tell me.
It wasn't with Brad Pitt. It was with Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. There's this residency I have on Fridays at the Ritz, and I was about to perform there, and I saw that there was a dude over there. I thought, I've seen that dude somewhere before, right? So
it was ringing your bell somewhere. Like, is he famous?
He was a little bit in the distance. The Ritz has this nice low lighting that kind of creates a ambiance. So, and then I pick up my guitar and I start playing, and this guy comes up to me. He gets from where he's at. He's like, "Give me that PRS," and it's Chad Kroeger from Nickelback.
Oh my God!
And then we start jamming together, and I have a mad respect for Chad. I know Nickelback is very hated, but they're also very loved.
Yeah,
and that guy is phenomenal.
If you know Maná from Mexico?
Yes.
Okay, I think Nickelback is the Maná of Mexico. Oh,
Interesting.
United States.
Interesting. Yeah, I love Maná.
Yeah.
I love Maná.
Yeah.
And Maná did something with Carlos Santana, and so did Chad Kroeger, right?
Yeah.
And so when Chad Kroeger was there, I didn't know how to play his song that he did with Carlos Santana. It's called Into the Night. But I wrote a song called Tangled Up because of Into the Night.
Ooh.
Right? And I said, Chad, because of that song you wrote with Carlos Santana, I wrote this song called Tangled Up, and it inspired me. And so I played it, and he's like, I can hear where you got the melodies from. I hear it there. So I'd probably, if I met Brad Paisley, I have songs that I wrote that are similar to songs that he wrote, and I'd be like, dude, check this out.
Right.
You inspired me to write this song.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That if I know that eventually is going to happen.
Amen to that.
I think you're in the path to it. How has it been, Azteca Ranch music now?
It's first of all, it's super exciting to have this whole team. So I worked with Yony before and Ramon, and these boys are just phenomenal.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. So just to have the support behind you, and people helping you understand where you're going to go, what we're gonna do, what are the next steps, and guide you, because I'm the artist and I know how to sing, I know how to play, I know how to write songs. But I don't know anything about the music business, dude. It's a whole other
industry.
It's a whole other exactly. It's like mind blowing. Like how do I do this? How do I do that? How to reach out? And this conjunction of having a record label is like, okay, now finally you don't have to worry about how to do it. You don't have to know everything. It's okay.
Is that a release?
Just let it.
Is that a release of? Is the heavyweight that is release of your?
I can't tell you how much.
That's amazing.
I can't tell you how much. Yeah.
So you're very excited about this coming up on your career.
Extremely excited.
That's
Yes.
awesome. That's
A lot
awesome.
of good things coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Johnny's like, I'm ready.
My boy.
That sounds amazing. I think it will be super nice if you can like play something. If you want to like share, like I don't know,
Let's do it.
one of the songs that maybe you were like talking
to
about right
release.
now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Or yeah. Take the guitar out if it is possible. In the meanwhile, so where do you know where we can find him on social media as it is right now? Like
It's Jack Mason Music, if I'm not mistaken.
or live? I believe it's live. Jack Mason live.
Jack Mason Live.
Yes.
Let me put it.
Double check that.
No, I'm gonna put it right here on the screen.
Perfect. Thank you very much for doing that. And of course,
Don't forget the release in 2 days.
oh yeah, well, I mean, but the point of this podcast is out. Of course, the music is going to be already out, but please go and check it out because that's important. And I believe it's going to be on your YouTube. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
The official video, and then obviously all
There you
streaming
go.
platforms. So
There
it's
is.
Caesar, Spotify, iTunes Music.
Awesome. And
That's
there's
his
the
Instagram.
perfect.
Jack Mason Live.
Awesome. Show.
There's always. I should play my originals more often.
Yes.
Let me see. There's one we have coming out. I think on the radio soon.
All right.
It's written all over my face. I won't even try to hide. There's no place I'd rather be other than by your side. Can't seem to get you off my head. When I'm around you, smiling, shyly look away. We're holding you so close, it's right where I wanna stay. Someone to fall in love with all your little quirks, those that make you stand out from all the other girls. A perfect sense of love, a loving sense of care. What matters to me most are the times that you are there. If I were with you, I'd spend all day like a Sunday morning. If you let me stay, hold you in my arms, pull you so closely. I were with you, I were with you. If I were with you.
I love that.
Thank you, thank you.
Está bien
That's
chida.
Just so
really
everyone
good.
at home knows, I bought them a pizza so they would clap after that.
He bribed us.
And tequila.
And
That's amazing.
tequila.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Jack Mason, muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much for
Thank
joining us
you.
today. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm really excited because on top of you being part of Azteca Ranch Music now, which is also our home studio. On top of that, of course, the opportunity of us as a podcast to have, I believe this is one of your first interviews, because I was trying to find for somebody interview that everybody did like live or like a podcast or like a video, and this is very much one of the first ones. So
Yes.
I'm very excited for us to be your what people is gonna like start searching, like, oh, Jack Mason, let me see, and then they're gonna find this, and they're gonna know you a little more through us, and that's very exciting for us too. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for giving me a seat at this amazing podcast and for hosting me and taking me in so well. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us today. So we already show your handle on social media, but please invite people to go and follow you and all the platforms for music as well.
Yes, it's always great to have that support, local or from far away. I never take for granted every single person that comes and follows. So Jack Mason Live, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, all the platforms, YouTube. Check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all the goodies. It goes a long way, and it's much appreciated.
Social media-wise, you're more active on Instagram?
I try to stay active on Instagram and Facebook.
All
I
right.
do post on TikTok as much as I do on the other two, but I don't comment and interact as much as I do on the other two. I guess each platform works differently.
Yes.
I think TikTok is more for posting and
Yes.
Fun.
not so much interaction. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Just some people are like, oh, I want to see if he liked me back or he liked my comment back. Like, of course, it's gonna be like maybe the closest to get that one will be Instagram right now.
I promise I do my best.
Awesome. That's amazing. Luisa Fernanda Quintana, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jack, for coming and having a seat with us and having a talk. You guys can follow me as Luisa Fernanda on all social media platforms. This is kind of weird saying it in Spanish.
I know, right?
I mean, in English. But you guys make sure to follow us on Platicando con el Podcast on YouTube. We're live every Monday, 7 p.m. Comment, subscribe, turn on that little bell so you'll know when to get our notifications. And Yony?
You can find me as Yony _Azteca. You can find me anywhere like that, and give us your opinion, your comments, and who would you like us to bring here to the podcast.
That's correct. I want to thank to Mayra Laguera Radio for the production. I want to thank Ramon Ramirez, Dispara Tira Gol, for be the operator and editor of the show. My name is Daniel Franco. I'm also known as Chorizo DFW. You can find me like that in all the social media, and I hope you have an amazing Monday. And of course, go and follow our main guy, big guy today, Jack Mason, on social media. Check out all the music, and thank you very much for joining us today. This was a crazy show in English, so I hope you like it. Thank you, and bye.
Se nos acabó el Rosero Stone.